So, I waited once Take Us Back ended for the Walking Dead final season, and about a couple weeks slash a month passed. I was going to start covering this. I've actually had this plan for a long time. And in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about a cut character in the Walking Dead final season. Very early on, that was actually cut from the game. If we end up getting 2,000 likes on this video, I will talk about another cut character sometime in the next week. I won't say who they are, but I do have another character planned to break down, and I'll try to find if there's even more, but all I know is that there's two. In this video, guys, I will be talking about Asha Mandadapu. That's her last name, Mandadapu. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. She ended up being a character who was conceptualized to appear in Telltale Games' The Walking Dead Season 4 or The Walking Dead final season. She ended up being a female, as you can tell by this picture here. She got black hair, she's in her late 20s, and her ethnicity, according to the Walking Dead Wiki, is Indian American. Not much is known about her, because again, she was, conceptualized to appear. So, we're going to talk about Asha in this video, and let me know what you guys think of her down below in the comments. We're going to go through pretty much everything that I found about her and her backstory and all that, and what she was planned to do in the Walking Dead final season. So, let's get straight into it. So here was the original concept art / drawing of Asha Mandadapu. She ended up being sort of tall, semi-sized, skinny, having a bat with spikes on it. Kind of some people saying the similar version of Negan, the female version of Negan. She had kind of like a canister there, hinting that she was an alcoholic or she liked to drink booze. And she also had kind of whitish, blackish hair, similar to, Joan from Season 3. I don't know if there was some kind of relation between her and Joan, but they kind of did have the same hairstyle. Obviously, Joan was a lot, heavier and bigger than Asha, but there might have been some kind of similarity. Maybe they were distant cousins. I don't know. Maybe they were related. I highly doubt it, but it just starts to bring intrigue that there were similarities between the two. And this was more of another concept, so it kind of pointed out some interesting details about her. She wore gloves, as pointed by that arrow there. She had a necklace with looks like a 35 or some kind of symbol on it. I don't know if exactly that's a 35. She had orange clothing. She had, looks like, protective coverings on her side of her pants. I don't know, hold water and stuff. And she had leather boots, and also, her canister that she held. This is just, again, a concept of what certain things that point out about her. She's a very interesting character by the looks of it, but an interesting detail about her was that she was cut from the very early version of the final season that involved the boarding school being destroyed. This is the early version, and true kids forced to find a new home. Asha would appear at some point after as a loner and then cut this and made the final season about having a permanent home worth fighting for. So originally, the final season was designed to where, maybe Clementine meets the boarding school in the first episode and it gets destroyed immediately. I don't know if the Delta was always planned to be the enemy, but this brings a lot of intrigue into what could have happened in future involvement. So as we continue on, there's a lot more art of Asha that kind of explains, her background and all that. So there's about 3 art images of this, and this was written by Danielle Powers, concept artist. So all credit goes to her for these images. She ended up drawing these, and these are the early images of what Asha was going to look like, Asha. And what we can tell here is that they kind of had her designed in different ways. You had like 4 different looks on the left there, long hair out, ponytail, braided hair, it all depended. Then you had images of her with Season 1 Clementine, and by the looks of it, that one on the left next to the Clementine one looks like to be Gabe, potentially. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, or some older dude. And you have her one just sitting there with booze on the ground. And these were kind of, just as I said, initial pictures / art of Asha. Kent Muddle talked about this scrapping. He explained that he's not entirely sure she was meant to actually appear in the game, as he had never read a script that involved Asha. Muddle summarized that Asha was used as a template for potential artists for the development team. He He explained that they provide a description of the scenario and the artist would draw based on that description, providing reasoning for Asha's various design changes, as well as the art showing her with Clementine, her season 1 character design, as we see right here on screen. It kind of just gives you an emphasis that, yeah, her character was something that could have been a thing or could have not been a thing, depending on if the writers wanted to bring her along for the ride. So here's the next art images of Asha. I swear, you people are probably going to flame me if I said this wrong in the comments, but that's okay. Exploration. This is her kind of like in the exploration kind of thing of where she would go out. We kind of have a bunch of different styles. Again, since she is Indian American, we have a bunch of cool outfits that I would have loved to see. I mean, ethnic characters in The Walking Dead. This would have been really nice to see. And you've got her with a bunch of different drawings. Some look really cool. Like, for example, the third one. That's an interesting, designed shirt. I think that one's pretty cool. Another one that I actually like is the first one. Kind of like an explorer kind of type one that I like to see. And even the last one. All really cool styles. They kind of have some of these also with Lily, James. They had a bunch of different styles of how they're going to be. Actually, fun fact here, there was one with Lily where she had a scar on her eye. They actually ended up not using that, but I found that very interesting. We'll talk about that soon enough, but these are her exploration ones. And the next one we have is her lineup and callouts. So maybe this is what one of their planned versions was of her. Messy bun, slightly to the side, back, front, gives you a, front and back look of her. And kind of, just seeing her face and design based on this one. This one looks pretty nice. Kind of more like formal. It's not really in the apocalypse, but this is a really cool one. So let me know what you guys think of this red and blue, shirt design that she has on this picture. But yeah, lots of good art here they have for Asha. So yeah, there's obviously was a concept of her. After even more research, I found another concept of Asha. You've got her face here, but it looks like a different design here. She's got the booze again, but she has a hammer. Instead of a bat this time, there's a hammer on her left hip. She's got a hood. She has kind of like some symbols on there. Yellow shirt. She's got the same little booze canister as before, and kind of different colored boots, but this is a completely different concept of her compared to the original. So I don't know which one was the main one. I'm assuming the one I showed first was the main. This is probably a little further back kind of one, but it gives you an interesting concept. Yeah, Asha had tons of different ideas and looks in her character that was going to happen. So, interesting detail there. And Danielle Powers, the artist who ended up drawing these, said, "I had the opportunity to art test for Telltale games this last year. Asha had a fascinating backstory, and I had a fun time getting to know her through the project." And then again, signed Danielle Powers. So, as I stated earlier, The Walking Dead final season had an original story. This changed. I don't obviously know if from the start, from the get-go, it was intended to be the final season. I think it was supposed to be season 4, when Telltale had just finished up A New Frontier. We were supposed to be getting Joan back. We were supposed to be getting Joan or Clint, whether everyone survived. We were supposed to be getting Javier and the remaining Garcia family. And this was supposed to be a story of kind of, Clementine on her own looking for AJ, but AJ wasn't the big emphasis as he is in the final season. It was more like Clementine looking for a home, not trying to, she found a home in episode 1, done running it and trying to keep it. She was looking the entire time in the original story of The Walking Dead. So that's why it brings a lot of intrigue into what could have happened if Asha, the original story, I don't even know if the Delta was an original concept that had come up with, but it really starts to get your guys thinking, what would have happened had they kept the original story? And I want you guys to leave down below in the comments, based on what you've seen in this video, do you guys think it would have been better had they stuck with this original script with Asha and all this other stuff I talked about in this video, or do you think what we got in the end was amazing, perfect? I personally am happy with what we got, but it would have been nice to see some more characters. Yes, definitely with more backstories and interesting stuff, and I think Asha would have been one of those characters that we all would have gotten an attachment towards. So let me know what you guys think of her down below in the comments. Would you guys have liked to see her in The Walking Dead final season? Or do you guys think, whatever, whatever. She didn't look that good anyway, so. Some people might think that. Alright, everybody. 2,000 likes. We'll cover the next character, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
I wanna go back. The sun